Hey guys, welcome to the video. I'll be doing a real quick look here at Chainlink again. I'll be making some changes to my chart here before I get started. Just the usual, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is an extremely risky market and very volatile, and you are responsible for your own trades, managing your risk appropriately, doing your own research, and doing your own trades. I'm here to give my opinion on the market, and that is all. Okay, all right. So let me go ahead and move into this. So yesterday on the server, we talked a bit about a move down to $2.68. Of course, I did my update yesterday. I kept all of my drawings, all of my memes on here, and what we'll do is we'll sort of redraw this a bit because I do see some differences in what my analysis was yesterday compared to what we are currently seeing. So let's go ahead and look at this. So I was talking about a move down to 268, and it moved down to let's see here, where is that low? Went down to 267 and 0.21. So we went down a little bit lower, but 268 was good. At the time I was like, you want to be able to, you want to take profit. I believe I was talking about taking profit up at 281, and we did not quite get there. We got to like 279 and a half. So a little discouraging there. But this zone down here is what I drew yesterday when we were looking at our correction and working our way down. And we did get down here to this level, to be fair, but we have come back to this level. Now, I'm going to remove this buy zone that I had because this buy zone has come and gone. I'm no longer interested in it. And with this ABC correction, also what I'm seeing is that this is not this was not the top of the three. My assumption is this right here was the top of the three. And I'll tell you why I believe that here in just a moment. So I'm going to remove this little circle. I'm going to move this 3 up here to this level, and I'm going to move this out of the way for right now because this is actually I'm just going to delete it and then I'll redraw it here in just a moment. So as far as market geometry goes, what makes more sense from a subdivision perspective is that this was a 1, this is a 2, this was a 3 and a 4, and then we went into the 5, and that would have created the 5th of that third. So let me move down to a lower degree, and I'll change the color to yellow so that shows the subdivision there. Okay, so we'll change this color to yellow. All right, and as far as the geometry perspective goes, I think this makes more sense. This move down happened too fast, as far as a correction on a larger scale. So moving up here to the 3 makes a lot more sense instead of this being, this being the 3 down here. I'm making the assumption that this is the 3 and that we have completed a 1, a 2, and then that is the third. Okay, and again, bringing out our trend-based Fibonacci to kind of take a look at this. We're going to go up here to the 1, we're going to come down to the 2, and of course, naturally, I thought that this was the 3 because we hit that 1618. We did go higher, and that's okay for us to do that. Let's see, I bumped my keyboard. All right, so we'll get back here. Now let's take a look and see what is coming next here. So what I'm seeing here is, and we're going to talk about a couple different levels here that are important. Now our ABC correction, we have our A, and then we have our B, and then we come down here for our C down in this area, which would actually create the 4 right down here. Now, this level is very important, and actually what I'm interested in doing is removing this descending wedge because we have, kind of overthrown and underthrown it. So I'm interested in removing this trend line for the time being, just so that we can kind of clean up the charts just a little bit. And the next thing I'm interested in doing is pulling up this Fibonacci retrace, which I was pulling that based on what I thought was the completion of the 5. Now that we have a slightly different bias here, let's pull this up here. And so what I think we are in this C wave, right? I think we are likely going to, either stop here at 266, which is the 50%, or we're going to come down to 263. My preference would be for us to stay above 266. So in my opinion, the trade setup is actually pretty good at the moment. Because if we're going to be going up for a 5, let's take a look from a longing perspective. You know, if you long down here, and not that I was making any suggestions or any opinion on this that are publicly known, but if you were to buy even at this level right here, and setting your stop loss right here, and I'll talk about why that level right there at about 260, we'll call it 263. This level is pretty important for a stop loss. You're still going to be looking for that larger move to the upside. So you're still looking for a move up to about 285. 285. So that is a 7%, approximately 7% gain from approximately where we're currently at. Talking about a 1.5% loss, which in the grand scheme of things is not significant. You know, 1.5% for a potential 7% gain. That would be worth it to me. But so a couple things that I'm seeing here in this correction, you know, maybe we are in an ABC, we could be in an ABCDE correction, which, you know, this is something also that I'm looking at here. We do have a bit of a falling wedge that I'm seeing here. So also keeping an eye on this as well. And actually this looks more like a channel than it does a wedge, but it would be possible for us to push down here one more time. Possible for us to push down one more time, but the upside target, not going to get super crazy bullish right now. I would say that we're looking at about right up here at about 285. That would be where I would be targeting that particular move. The other thing that you can do is taking the length of the 1, right? And typically what we do is we come down here to determine where our wave 3 target would be, but we're going to be now taking this from the bottom potentially of this. You know, a 100% move would be taking us here to about you know, 278, 280. That would create a double top. So I would consider taking profit up here at about 280, but the 1618 target right here, or the 1236, this zone up here, there's a little bit of confluence in this area. Between 285 and 287, that would be where I would be looking to close out that position completely. You know, maybe it does go higher, but also keep in mind this 5-wave structure is likely going to be, and again, we're going to go back down here to like a 3-hour time frame and look at this from a higher time frame perspective. That move is really likely just going to be a wave 1 target of a much larger wave. So you know, looking at this wave right here, that would have completed the our 5-wave structure from the bottom at about $1.45, $1.46. You know, I'm really surprised we haven't come down more, so I'm not going to completely abandon the thought that we can come back down to 225. I'm not abandoning that, right? A lot of it is going to be what happens at 285. So again, up here at 285, if we come up here to the zone and we get rejected, it's just going to be another lower high. You know, especially if we stop up here at about 278, that then looks like, you know, we really can come back down to 225, right? So we're just playing the waves up here. But, you know, set your stop loss, you know, down here at about 263, 264. And again, this is why 263, 264 is so important, because if this is a wave 1, that level has to hold. If this is a wave 1, that level has to hold. It can't be penetrated. It can't be invalidated. So that level right here, and I'm allowing a little bit beyond down here to the 618 for there to be a bounce. Now, if we penetrate this level and we bounce there, then likely at that point we'll be setting up some trailing stops. But you know, if we do start to move up from here, then my target would be only about 285 or so. And I would really consider taking profit here about 275, also at 280, and then your last take profit would be about 285. If we push beyond 285, okay, then we can talk a different story. But for right now, I'm cautious, and I would advise you to always be cautious. just because we don't know what the market's going to give. So we take the trades that are in front of us. This right now is the trade that we've got with some take profits along the way. Again, look to take profit 275, 280, and then 285. And at that point, I would be exiting positions and then waiting for a pullback because it looks like that is going to be what happens. As far as market geometry goes, what we're looking at from right here, we're looking at this taking 37 bars on a 15-minute time frame. And as far as this correction goes, we're looking at this being, again, we're looking at 37 bars all the way down here to the bottom. So as far as geometry goes, the amount of time is pretty is relative. It works out. It works out. And as far as the wave one here, taking 53 bars relative to the wave three, which also took 57, 58 bars or so, that looks pretty good. So this wave five, if we start it from right here, we're looking 58 bars, and again, we're just really talking geometry at this point. We're talking a little later today, if we are going to get an impulsive move, and I say that with a big if, because contrary to what people think, Bitcoin has a tremendous effect on the USD pair. Unless this BTC pair is going to skyrocket, then Bitcoin is going to have a tremendous effect on the price of this. So that's why I'm cautious, and that's why I'm talking about taking profit up here in these zones. Now let's take a look at Link versus Bitcoin because, and that darn chart keeps coming up every time I do this. All right, so interesting thing on this, and this is why I think that 285 can hit, right? So we obviously have a resistance level here at 30,300 to 30,700 satoshis, right? So we've got this level which we have to pay attention to. We've pulled back, right? So we're trying to retest this, and I could pull this up a bit to get some confluence with this touch up here. And then we basically have retested this, right? So this is a bullish sign, right? This is a bullish sign. I would love to see us retest and push through and retest 30,000, and especially 30,500. What I would really love to see is a push up and a retest of this zone. So a move up from here, a retest, maybe a move up here, retest that. Then we're looking for a move up to about 32,000 to 32,300. And that level, just for the record, is coming from this cluster right here where we had our support, and now we're looking for that to be resistance, and that again is about 32,400, but we also have this lower cluster down here that we have to pay attention to. So, likely there's going to be some resistance up there. So, keeping an eye on that as well. So if you're a Bitcoin pair trader, then, in this case, we have confirmed, I use confirmed loosely, right? We have retested this as support now on this descending trend line, and now likely it looks like we are going to move up. And if Chainlink is going to make that fifth wave up to 285, then we do need to see a move at least up here to about 30,000 to 30,500. So keeping an eye on that. So that's kind of my opinion on Chainlink right now. I hate to say it, but I still have a little bit of a bearish bias on the USD trading pair. And yeah, like somebody is throwing a comment in on the chat right now. We need some volume to support. Yeah, we need volume to support this. So, I do have volume charts on here that I can pull up. The volume here is pretty small, right? Pretty small compared to the volume that we saw on the push down and then, our spring. So, right, so let's talk about what good volume would look like on a bullish spring. And this is again versus the Bitcoin trading pair. So we saw lots of negative volume as the price pushed down, but here on the spring, look at all of the positive volume that we had. And again, this is back on October 25th when Bitcoin made its big move up. Now, keep in mind, when you're talking about Bitcoin being king, Bitcoin went up 40%, right? and it took out the previous lows. We haven't done that yet. We still haven't done that. And money was flocking to Bitcoin, right? Money was flocking to Bitcoin from the alts in this move down here. And then, of course, there was the move up. But what we haven't seen is we haven't seen us reclaim this level. That's important for us to do. We're basically being suppressed on the USD trading pair until we can reclaim some of these Bitcoin trading pair levels. It's still looking like we have more downside on the USD pair, even though we might have short-term upside. As far as the oscillators go, at least on the 15 minutes, let's move to an hourly. Take a look at these oscillators. The hourly shows that we are bottoming out, and what I'm seeing here is I'm actually seeing some hidden bullish divergence on this trend line. So if we look here, we have a higher low, which is good, and then down here on the oscillators, we're creating, and this is our Stoke oscillator, we are creating a lower low on the oscillator. That is a bit bullish. So yeah, I do think that we do have some short-term upside potential for Chainlink. The 3-hour is starting to come down a bit, but the 1-hour shows that we do have some more strength to the upside. So it wouldn't surprise me to get up here to these levels. And if we want to, we can take a look at the oscillators versus Chainlink versus Tether and see what this looks like. Yeah, this is actually kind of creating that same setup. So we'll let that hidden bullish divergence play out. So again, down here, we've got our higher low, and then down in the oscillators, we have our lower low. So we'll kind of wait for these oscillators to play out. As soon as this oscillator moves its way back to the upside, then I'll be looking for that move down. But for right now, I do think that we do have short term up to 275 to 285, and then we're going to see that move down. So I'll go ahead and end it here. Talked a little bit longer than I really wanted to. Just wanted to keep it short and sweet for today. But yeah, if you'd like to pop in the Discord, we like to have conversations there. Just throw in a comment in the in the video, and then I can get you an invite code. I'm real happy with the number of new, and I use the term members loosely, the number of new people that have joined the Discord. Some real good people, and we'd like to have you there too. Also, we like to spread the word, so feel free to like, subscribe, share, and yeah, and hopefully we'll continue to spread the good news, and I will catch you all later. Have a good one, everybody.